Good.
Okay, good to see everybody. Excited to be back. It's day one for the veterans, the rookies, the coaches. We've been in here for a bit, but getting some really good work done. So, as you know, exciting days for our guys when you're back in the building for the first time and getting around the players. And I think the guys have the right attitude, understanding the work that has to get done. We're excited for the fans to get out here on Friday at Cross Country Mortgage Campus. That'll be fun. They always bring that energy for us. So ready for the start of this thing, but we know that there's so much work that goes into this. On the Quinshon Judkins situation, I don't have much to add. These are things that we take very, very, very seriously. We're gathering information. I know you guys will talk to Andrew tomorrow, but I don't have much to add on that situation. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, are you allowed to have contact with Quinshon during this situation?
Yeah, I would say not going to comment much further, Jeff, other than we're gathering information.
Kevin, along those lines, I know you're not going to speak on this specific topic, but this is another off season where a situation like this has come up. How concerning is that, and how much do you? I mean, I know you address it with, right. But do you feel like you have to do more to emphasize it?
I would tell you, again, this is something I take very seriously. We take very seriously. It's not something that we want to be a part of. We want to be shining the light on the good things that our guys are doing in this community. Having said that, I do know we go. The league mandates a certain amount of education in all areas, certainly in this area, and we decide to go above and beyond that, and we will continue to do that. And if there's more ways that we can reach players in any area, in any area of education, we'll continue to look at that.
Kevin, you have 3 different start times for your practices. Why is it?
To mess up your tee times, Tony. Yeah, guys, typically we practice at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's guys like practicing early in the morning every once in a while, so tried to make sure we do that. And then just the way some of our meetings were structured these first couple days felt like we get out here in the afternoon. Obviously, it's going to be warm today and tomorrow. You need to acclimate to the heat. I know September 7th down at our place, it could be anything. It could be 90. It could be 60 for all I know. So we do need to acclimate to the heat.
Kevin, with the uncertainty with Quinshon, do you feel like you need to add a running back to the team?
I think we'll see over the next few days, weeks, as we gather information, but I don't know yet.
Is that, for at least the time being, move Jerome up to, like, he's your number one guy right now?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
You talked about more intense training camp.
One more time?
More intense training camp. How would you describe the changes you've made to this training camp?
Well, we'll see. I haven't been out there just yet, but certainly how you structure practice, Tony, the league mandates that you ramp up, and they mandate the amount of time that you're out here. So you are beholden to that. They mandate when the pads can go on, so you have to abide by that. So we can't put pads on until next week. Having said that, there's things that we'll do in camp that are maybe we'll be out here a little bit more, maybe doing a little bit more from a repetition standpoint than previously.
Kevin, when it comes to the quarterback competition, what is your ideal timeline to make a decision on that?
Yeah, I think with all things depth chart, certainly quarterback, I have a plan that's in pencil, and we have to take in information every single day, take in how guys are handling certain situations, and then adjust from there. But we'll get to those type of decisions later on.
But is it possible that maybe like the decision could linger all the way up until like maybe the week one?
Till inactives come out on week one, you're saying? Listen, I think the big thing for me is putting our guys in position where we can evaluate them. I think they did a great job in the spring, all 4 of those guys. We'll continue to put them in some situations, but ultimately we'd love to make a decision sooner than later.
Do you expect the rotation with the quarterbacks, will it be the same as minicamp was?
I wouldn't say that, not the same per se, Tony, but we'll continue to roll guys in there this week. We got 4 days before an off day, so I'll take a look at how we do it this week, and then we'll huddle up. I think our off day's on Sunday this week. We'll huddle up on Sunday and decide how we want to handle next week.
Kevin, with 2 joint practices, how much of a benefit is that with a 4-way QB competition?
Yeah, I think it's certainly the benefit is in that you're going against a defense that's not your own. Both sides, our offense, our defense, really get to know the other side of the ball for the Cleveland Browns really well. So to be exposed to a different look, certainly to be exposed to different players, I think you can gain some valuable information when you're talking about evaluating players.
You just split the fields the way you did, 2 on one, 2 on another, and how did you like how that worked during OTAs and minicamp?
We'll do that for a few periods this week. Today we'll have one period like that. With anything, there's cost to everything you do, so you can't have 40 plays on either field because that's going to have cost to the rest of your players. So being very intentional about what we ask our guys to do, because we're trying to it's not just about one position, we're trying to get all of these guys ready to play.
You have a new sports science department. You made a lot of changes. Do they contribute to how you schedule practices?
Yeah, I take in information certainly from sports science, from medical. Really, we kind of look at health and performance as all-encompassing when it comes to those type of discussions and decisions, Tony. So certainly listen to everybody so I can make good decisions.
How much does Quinshon's absence put more on Dylan's plate? And what have you seen so far from Dylan? Just the off season and everything.
Yeah, I think Dylan Sampson's done a great job from the moment he's gotten here. He's very conscientious, very intelligent. Been very impressed with what he can do in a bunch of different facets of the game. We're still going to bring him along based on how he performs. So I think you'll see again over these next 4 days and then into next week as we put some practices under our belt, we'll be making evaluations on all of our guys.
Coach, expect going 3-14 last season. What's being done, inside the building to ensure that meaningful games will be played in December and January?
Yeah, I think for us the focus really has to go on day one of practice. We can't. We're not playing a game till September, but what we can do is get ready to play a 17-game plus season, and that's really about how we work, and that's what the guys are focused on today.
Expect anybody to know.
What's the outlook for David Bell, and what are you expecting from him?
Yeah, I think we'll see. Dave's doing, as you know, or as you can imagine, a great job rehabbing. So we'll just keep seeing how he's progressing through his rehab.
I was curious, why was it an NFI designation as opposed to?
Yeah, I can't get into a ton of details there, but Dave's working very hard.
Expecting anybody?
Where my call is, and I know he's on pup too, but where he is on.
Doing a nice job. I mean, obviously the focus for Mike right now is getting healthy, and he's working very hard both in the training room and in the weight room. He's doing a really nice job.
So you made some tweaks to the way you're going to handle training camp. Will you also tweak the way you use playtime in preseason?
I think remains to be seen. Again, have a plan. Want to talk through that with the coaches as we get into those type of games. This is the first time, Tony, where we've had a preseason practice versus our week one opponent. So how does that factor into some of the decision makings for that game as well? So all things that I'm talking about with our coaches now.
Kevin, I know both described the tone that they want to see as intense, hungry, and so for you, especially in this first week, what do you need your team's tone to be on the field after?
Week one, day one for training camp, everybody's healthy, excited. It's been a long off season, so their focus is where it needs to be. They're going to push each other on both sides of the ball, but we have a lot of work to do. I think that's the big thing that our guys understand. I think it's 46 days till Sunday, September 7th. So that's a lot of opportunities for us to get better every single day, and that's what we're going to do today.
I know you said you can enroll the quarterbacks at least for this first week, but is it okay to start reading into stinking workouts?
Are you asking for permission to read into? Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys. I give you permission to make what you want of it.
Does it matter who's taking the first team rep today?
Yeah, I think you'll see at a bunch of different positions we will work guys in different areas. So I know it will get reported on who's in there first, and it may change. It will change tomorrow. So I'd caution you to read too much into it until we get much later on in the process.
And after that first week, when you reassess how you handle the quarterbacks, does that mean somebody gets reduced reps?
Not necessarily. Again, I have opportunity to talk to Tommy Reese, Bill Musgrave, our coaches, just in how we want to outline this. We've had an entire off-season program with our guys. So what I try to do is have a plan for this first block of 4 days, have a plan for the next block, but we are ready to adjust as necessary throughout this thing. And then ultimately, we want to make the best decision for the football team, but we also want to gather information so that I can make that decision.
Kevin, along the lines of the situation with Sean and the education part of it, you've talked before about just like making sure your message doesn't get stale year to year. Do you worry at all that, like, especially back-to-back years, if something like this happens, especially like the rookie guy coming in, and maybe that message isn't being received?
Yeah, I can only tell you that you're right in that with messaging, you have to make messaging sticky. You have to make ways for guys to understand where you're coming from. So I give a lot of credit to Ron Brewer and our player programs group that changes up the programming, if you will, in terms of how you reach players. It's something that we take the allegations here very, very, very seriously. And I also want to make sure that we're doing everything in our power from a coaching staff position, from everybody in our building, that we're educating our guys in a bunch of different areas. But that's something that we will always look at, ways to reach our guys. That's eternal.
Could we see tackling to the ground at all this summer?
You could.
Yeah, that'd be one of the changes you consider.
Could be.
I got two injury questions. Yeah. Obviously, you guys put Deshaun on the active pup list. Is there any update to status? You guys really haven't said anything since the initial statement.
No, I don't think any update. He's doing a great job. He's working very hard, doing a great job in the weight room, in the training room, meeting room. So everything that he's able to do right now, he's doing a great job.
And then is there anybody who wasn't placed on PUP or NFI who you expect to be just a little limited in their participation this first week?
Nobody comes to mind. Yeah.
Kevin, in terms of the sports science department and start times, was there any talk about maybe staggering each day? Because I know a couple of teams go 26 hours between practice for recovery time and everything.
Yeah, we had a conditioning test yesterday at 3 o'clock, so didn't want to start prior to that time for today, certainly. And then obviously now you're worried about today's practice, how that affects tomorrow. So that factors into the decision making based on what the lifts we're doing with the players, what type of workouts we're doing. That helps us decide when we want to be out here on the practice field.
I know you talked a little bit about Mike Hall and just where he's at, but is that something you guys are anticipating he could be back sooner off that list, or later in camp?
Yeah, I can't go much farther past today with all of our injured players. He's right where he needs to be. He's working extremely hard. He looks good, but I can't put a date on it just yet.
You've obviously been talking about the quarterback battle, but there are areas on this team where guys are looking to take a leap or continue their development. How much emphasis is it for guys like MJ, Diabate to take that leap and maybe get a strong 2025 season early under the belt?
Yeah, I think it's a good point about we have a lot of young players in this football team, and I've seen the leap that you mentioned. I've seen that from players. Sometimes it happens year 1 to year 2. Sometimes it happens year 2 to year 3. So what we try to focus on in this building is getting better every single day. We take the development of our players very seriously, and I know our guys take it seriously. They're partners in their development. So I have a bunch of young guys that I am expecting that they do have that quote-unquote leap because of the work that they're putting in.
Kevin, this is probably something that Andrew's going to have to answer for us, but last year when Mike Hall had an incident, he was right back here right away, back on the football field. I'm just curious, why is Quinshon not able to?
I would let Andrew ask Andrew tomorrow, Mary Kay, but I can't add much to it other than to say all these situations are different, and all we can do is take in all the information that we have available to us. But that's something I'm sure Andrew can address.
Kevin, after
last one here.
Pressure.
Yeah, don't screw this up.
OTAs and minicamp with the staff. Are there any players who radically zoomed up in the team's opinion? New players.
Yeah, I would tell you the fun part for me being around this football team in the spring and then seeing how they operate, just coming back in really good shape. This is a group that wants to get to work. They're not so concerned with things outside of their control. They're going to push each other. I think that happens when you have your best players that practice hard, and I think that's something that we have here. We'll have our best players. We'll push all of these young guys, but in terms of improvement and who those players are, that's what training camp's for, to identify those type of guys, so you can, crown a Mr. Berea.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys, appreciate it.